Hey guys, welcome back to another Future Spouse Pick a Card reading. This one is shadow work, all right? Shadow work that is meant to heal your nervous system so that your nervous system feels safe and is ready to accept and receive your future spouse into your 3D experience, okay? So just keep in mind, you guys, each pile is going to have its own separate, guidance, its own separate, maybe trigger points and stuff like that. If there are any processes to share, I will share what the processes are in the description box below. And just keep in mind, you guys, we are going to be delving in, like I am going to find out, like maybe where, that block or that trigger originated from. It could originate in past life, it could originate in this life. So I just want a disclaimer here, you guys, trigger warning. We may be talking about some very triggering and or painful things, in the pile. So, if you're somebody that's very sensitive to certain triggers being activated, maybe hold off on watching the shadow work readings until you are ready to process through those, okay? If you're not aware of how to process through triggers, I can share with you now. There is a video that I have on one of my other channels, and it's called Releasing the Wants. That can help neutralize. It takes you through a process that helps to neutralize the emotional energy that, that is making up the impact of that trigger, okay? So I just wanted to let you guys know we are going to be delving in, okay? We're going to find out where some of these triggers originate from, whether it's past life stuff, whether it's this current life, if it was a direct or indirect, experience that you had. And so, like I said, it is possible we might be touching on some very touchy, triggering, sensitive topics. And so I just wanted to throw that out there, okay, you guys? All right, pile, let's see. I should say, guys, all right? Take a minute, clear your head, breathe, and then see which one of the piles you feel most drawn to. And it's I would not be surprised if you guys feel drawn to maybe more than one pile. A lot of the times, our nervous system can have a myriad of things going on within it. It may not even think, and you wouldn't even think that some of the things that come up may even be related directly to manifesting in a future spouse. But whatever comes in, you guys, whatever comes up, just roll with it. If it's resonating, like, yeah, that's been my experience, or yeah, that tracks, or whatever, even though it doesn't seem like it would have anything to do with manifesting in a future spouse, oftentimes, you guys, the subconscious, which, the nervous system is kind of like the home of your subconscious, okay? When people talk about the brain, where is the conscious, and then you have the subconscious, which is the nervous system. Things just don't make sense a lot of the times to the logic mind, okay? But that's not how the nervous system works. It's just basically, it's programmed to keep you safe, to keep you alive, and a lot of the times, some of the ways that it's figured out how to do that just wouldn't make sense to your conscious, logical thinking mind, okay? But just roll with it. All right, you guys, let's see, pile one, pile one is here with pink tourmaline and quartz. Pile two is malachite. Pile three is smoky quartz, and then pile four is rainbow fluorite. So just take a moment. Whatever one you are drawn to, the timestamp will be in the description box, and I will see you guys at your reading. Bye. Well, hello, pile one. Welcome back to my channel. We're doing another future spouse pick a card reading, and this is specifically shadow work, okay? Shadow work to heal and prime your nervous system, which will help to manifest your future spouse in with ease. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire intro. I do want you guys, if you have not watched the intro to this video, pause, go to the timestamp for the intro, watch it, okay? If you don't, maybe you're going to miss out on some things during your reading, okay? So I'm not going to go back over the main intro, okay? I am going to, though, reiterate here that we may be getting into some very triggering, sensitive topics. And so if you're somebody that, may have a highly activated trigger talking about certain points maybe in your past or what the case may be, maybe hold off until, you know, you're able to neutralize those triggers. I did speak in the main intro how you can actually get to work doing that now. Okay, so again, go watch the main intro. I just wanted to highlight the disclaimer for the triggers. Okay, we might be getting into some very sensitive triggering topics, possibly, I don't know. Okay, so let's see, pile 1. Just keep in mind it's a general reading, so whatever resonates, you can take it, leave it, you know, run with it. If something's not resonating and you're like, no, that's not my experience at all, you know, pause the video, reset yourself, breathe, and see if there's maybe another pile that you are attracted to or that you feel drawn to. Okay, it happens sometimes. Yeah, and then I do have personal readings available if you would like for me to tap exclusively into your energies. I do have, you know, one-on-ones you can book with me if you're interested in doing some shadow work, you know, work with me directly one-on-one. You would just have to book a live in-person readings. Those are linked in the description box below, and there's payment plans available depending on, you know, the allotments, the time allotments that you choose. All right. All right, so pile 1, you were drawn to the pink tourmaline and quartz. And for those of you that aren't really familiar with pink tourmaline and quartz, this is an awesome, amazing stone to work with if you have experienced any kind of, you know, emotional, well, I should say trauma in like relationships, okay? And trigger warning here, this is good for people who are needing maybe some help integrating or processing through the emotional energy making up some of those memories. Like, you know, we're talking about emotional abuse, just abuse of any kind, but mostly like emotional abuse because of, you know, the pink tourmaline, okay? So for those of you, so that might have something to do with the shadow work that's needing to be done. There may be something here about needing to process through, integrating, clearing out the emotional energy that's making up some very intense triggers. All right. And again, depending on what's here, we will get into, I'll tell you what the processes are. Now, I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm not anything like that. So I can give you like the breathing exercises and, you know, and stuff like that. But if you're somebody that's really, you know, very highly heightened and triggered when it comes to, you know, sensitive topics. Now, what I'm not going to do is like, you know, have you go back and relive those moments. That's not what I'm going to do. Okay. If that's something that you feel like you might need help with doing, that's where you would definitely want to go check out, you know, talking to a psychologist or a psychotherapist or a licensed counselor or something like that. But this is at least going to kind of point you in the right direction of where to go if that is indeed what's needed. All right, you guys, let's see. I had to put a lot of disclaimers in here. All right, let's find out what shadow work is being pointed out to you. Okay, let's see. We have reparenting. It says you may not feel like doing it, but you do it anyway because that's what loving parents do. This is little things like brushing your teeth, drinking your water, eating your veggies, taking a shower, going outside, exercising, playing with your friends, your kids, pets, etc., cleaning your room, all that good stuff. And then we have embodying. But we have here a self-love. Okay, so the shadow work or the shadow aspect of you feels like maybe it's your inner child, pile 1, that's needing, that doesn't feel safe with experiencing or having a future spouse or a marriage manifest into your life. Okay, there's definitely, it largely feels like inner child work. There may be some points, and what we're going to see, if some of this work needs, and that's what I was really, self-love, and then you guys picked the pink tourmaline and rose quartz, and here we got, you know, reparenting, and then embodying says fully embodying the feeling of the wish fulfilled. See, okay, so this is how you're going to know. Like, what if you were to meet your future spouse today, right? really put yourself into that space. Like, imagine what you would think and how you would feel meeting him or her or them, right? There may be a part of you that doesn't feel, I just heard worthy. I was going to say ready. There may be a deeply subconscious part of you, possibly that inner child, that doesn't feel worthy of, you know, a loving marriage. Or there might even be that part of you, like, consciously, that's what you want. You want, you know, a partner that adores you, that wants to take care of you, whether it's mentally, emotionally, you know, physically, whatever the case may be, sexually. But what I'm getting, pile one, is that your inner child doesn't trust. It's not trusting that whomever you call in or whomever you're drawing in is going to be a safe space for you. And so that's what's blocking or delaying a future spouse from manifesting in, because the inner child is like, no. And it may have something to do, you know, with some actual experiences that you've had growing up, especially if you've had, and we're going to actually ask right here. Let's see. Pile one, let's find out where this originated. This is primarily a past life. Present life, yeah. Okay. Childhood. Okay. This did not, for the vast majority of you, this isn't something that originated in childhood. So let's see. Young adult, 20s. Yeah, in your 20s. Okay, a lot of you. So what's coming through is there may be a part of you that is frozen in an experience that you may have had that started in your 20s. Okay, again, it's a general reading, so I'm just pulling the main energies here. Not saying that, you know, now if it does resonate for you that this pattern may have originated in childhood, there's something about an event or a relationship. This was a direct experience, a personal experience, a direct experience that pile one had. Yes. Okay. Sometime in your 20s, let's do a little bit delving. I hope you guys don't mind. We're definitely going to get into it. Now, you don't need to know where this originated from, but, you know, it does help sometimes. You don't need to know in order to heal your nervous system. Let's see. Tell me more about where this originated from. Okay. Something about a fear of not being sure that you can maintain it. Like, there's something about, like, okay, being able to call it in, but not being quite sure whether or not you can maintain it. Now, all of this is happening in your shadow. This is all happening, you know, this is all playing out subconsciously. So you may not even, these may not even be conscious thoughts that you're having, but we're talking to you, we're talking, I'm voicing the thoughts and the feelings and the thought processes of your shadow and what's going on in your nervous system, aka your subconscious. Okay, there's a lot of anxiety here about being able to maintain it is what it feels like. Okay, there may be a worthiness issue with it as well, with self-love being called out here. This is like the energy that you're really, like, in order to help integrate and do the shadow work, really focusing on yourself, okay? Loving on yourself. Your nervous system really needs to know that it's worthy. And maybe there have been, you may have been, you know, and this is part of shadow work, is calling yourself out. Okay, you may have been neglecting some of your own basic needs. Maybe you haven't been showing up for yourself in the way that you know that you should. And so what's coming up, pile one, for you is that it may be likely that what you're wanting to do, and this is kind of what the shadow does. It's like, I don't want to do the work myself. I need someone. I don't want to validate myself. I need somebody else to validate me. I don't want to. It's like I can't enjoy my own energy unless someone is enjoying it with me. It's kind of like that kind of an energy, pile one, is you really needing to really buckle down and harvest, is what I'm hearing. You need to start really seeding and harvesting that self-love. You need to prove to your nervous system that you are worth showing up for. And the way that you start doing that is by showing up for yourself first. It's like you're wanting a future spouse almost to prove to you that you are worth showing up for. Again, this could all be happening in your shadow, and you may not even be having these conscious thoughts, but this is what's coming up. Okay? You may have been doing a lot of like emotional work. You may have been doing a lot of energetic work in terms of like, working on balancing your spiritual side. You may be even balancing your mental and emotional self, but you haven't really been showing up for yourself in a physical way. And that could be like, for some of you, I'm hearing it would, a way of reparenting yourself and a way of really showing up for yourself and showing yourself that you also are loved is like updating your wardrobe. Allowing like buying yourself nice things. Now, some of you, we got to be careful with some of these, right? Because some of the stuff that's coming through, if you use that as a crutch, then be very careful. But some of you, what I'm hearing is like you're not dressing yourself as if you're someone who's worthy of like attention. You may be inadvertently trying to hide. You may be trying to hide yourself physically, and what's coming through in terms of shadow work to help manifest in a future spouse is like, dress yourself in a manner where people are going to notice you. There may be a part of you that's like, no, I got to stay hidden. There may be a part of you that's very scared or kind of timid when it comes to other people noticing you. Okay. And this could be very basic. Some of you, it's like, if you, especially, and not to make you feel bad about yourself, a lot of the times, especially if our nervous system is completely just shut down because there's so much, trauma, whether it's big T trauma or little t trauma running through the system, it hasn't been processed out. Our nervous system, it shuts down. We go into freeze response, right? That's when we're what's called dorsal. And when you are down in freeze response, you're doing good just to get out of bed. Okay. That's what freeze response look like. And people that are in freeze response, they're not taking care of things like their own personal hygiene and stuff like that. And so, reparenting is coming out wherever it is you're on in terms of the spectrum. You have to reparent yourself. It says you may not feel like doing it. So there are some things that you need to do to take care of your physical body. And it could be, some things too that you need to do in terms of, taking care of your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body, and just like those of you that might be parents of, actual kids or parents of, fur babies, what the case may be, that there are times when you don't feel like parenting, but you do it anyway. You just, you do it regardless of how you feel because you love your kids and or your pets enough. Like, I don't want them to go hungry, even though I don't. It's like it's taking everything in me, to do that. And that's basically what this is saying. It's like reparenting yourself. Okay. You may not feel like doing those things. You may not feel like, drinking, adequate amounts of water every day. You may not feel like, you know, decluttering and organizing your space. You may not feel like, you know, taking a shower that day, or brushing your teeth, or, you know, eating or exercising, or eating, you know, some healthy, life-sustaining foods, but it's like you do that anyway. So, you know, part of healing your nervous system and part of the shadow work that is here for you guys is to start reparenting yourselves, okay? And then embodying says fully embodying the feeling of your wish fulfilled. So really put yourself into that scene where you are with your future spouse and what that feels like. What thoughts are you thinking? What feelings are you feeling? And it may take you some time to actually activate those feelings, right? Because especially if you have a nervous system that has been kind of hijacked by, you know, triggering thoughts and triggering emotions, and hijacked by memories of trauma and stuff, you may be numbed out. And so give yourself some grace and some time, and just start practicing. Make it a practice every day to embody the feeling of your wish fulfilled, which would in this case be, you know, your future spouse being a 3D reality. Okay. We have clear quartz here. So the affirmation that for you to be able to say here, it says, I'm in perfect balance between my spiritual and emotional self. I am healed, I am recharged, and I am renewed. Okay. I am healed, I am recharged, and I am renewed. It feels like a lot of you may be low on energy, okay, emotional energy. And when you're low on emotional energy, that can really affect your beliefs. It can affect your conviction. It's like, yeah, you can want and desire something all day, but, you know, if you're feeling low emotionally, your faith in that can tend to wane. And so really the reparenting thing feels like that's how you kind of start to get that energy back. That's how you start to regain, you know, a lot of this feels like, you know, the reparenting are things to do in the actual 3D realm, right? Because I feel like a lot of you have been working on maybe some mental and emotional and spiritual balancing, but you have not yet started to do, you know, the actual physical things. And so this is going to help to give you the energy that you need, that's going to help fuel that faith, okay? Again, this may not make sense to your conscious mind, but just roll with it, okay? This is what's coming through in terms of what you can do. And we're actually getting into some of the actions for you to take. Again, it doesn't seem like it would be connected. But especially if your faith, like, yeah, you know, I want it, and part of maybe, you know, trying to keep up the faith with manifesting in a future spouse, like that's even possible, is watching future spouse pick a card readings. But believe it or not, what's coming through pile one, actually doing some things, some actionable steps, okay? Starting with reparenting yourself, taking care of yourself, all the ways that you're imagining that a future spouse would come in. It's like doing those things for yourself. Okay, you're showing that love to yourself. What you don't want to do is you don't want to call somebody in, right? And then without having done the work, and then you become dependent on that person's energy. You become dependent on that person's validation. And so what you're doing is you're learning how to validate yourself. These are all things that our parents should have done for us growing up, but because, you know, a lot of the times our parents, you know, were lost in their own hijacked nervous systems, they didn't do these things for us, right? And so you're going back and you're learning how to reparent yourself. You're learning how to validate yourself. You're learning how to show up for yourself no matter how you're feeling about it. You do it anyway, okay? Let's talk about some more. What are some more action steps, or just anything to add about action steps for pile one? Some of these seem trivial, I know. It's like, you know, don't forget to brush your teeth, you know, brush your teeth like you're supposed to, right? Take showers, and, you know, but that's self-care, it's self-love, and it's self-care, and it's like, yeah, you know, it's showing your nervous system like, I'm I'm worth caring for, you know. Tell me more. Okay, yeah, so reparenting yourself, because right away we've got new direction with the Six of Swords, and then we have the Seven of Cups with inspiration. Start there with reparenting yourself, okay? There are some things, pile one, you know that you've been needing to do, but maybe you've been putting off for whatever reason. And a lot of it could, again, be subconscious. I don't know. For some of you, it's about getting your health in check, okay? For some of you, I'm hearing it's about getting your finances in check. Some of you may have been holding off, whether you realize it or not, on having someone like the fact that reparenting is coming up. Some of you may have been actually holding off for someone to come in and reparent for you. Okay, that's why a future spouse hasn't been coming in, is because your part of your shadow work is doing that for yourself. Whether it's, you know, you're waiting for someone to come in and take care of your finances for you. Again, we're talking about shadow stuff. So I'm not saying this is happening consciously, okay? This is happening in your shadow. You know, or you might have, you know, you're waiting for someone to come in and you know, do the validating for you. Some of you may even be waiting for someone to come in and give you that energy, right? And what's coming through is like, it's better for you to learn how to cultivate your own energy, activate your own energy, thrive in your own energy, so that when your future spouse comes in, you're not overly and hyper dependent on that person, right? That's given way too much of, you know, the power away. Yeah, so believe it or not, whether it feels or looks like it's connected, starting with reparenting is going to open up so many different doors for you. I'm seeing your energy just activate, like just ignite and flourish, and you just become like a magnet for so many good things. Your inspiration opens up, your creativity opens up, channels for more energy open up, and it just, you know, yeah. Health and finances are two things that are coming through, though, when it comes to reparenting, okay? It could be both for you. It could be health. It could be finances. Again, just whatever resonates. Anything for self-love. We got the Four of Swords. It's okay to rest. It's okay to allow yourself time for recovery, but let me see more about the Four of Swords. Taking time out for you. For some of you, you have been kind of like in your hyper masculine energy, okay? We have the Emperor in the reverse coming out, and so it's like it's okay to take some of that energy away from, you know, maybe other things. Maybe you've been taking care of other people. Maybe you've been taking care, all your energy is going out towards, you know, maybe a business or you know, taking care of kids. And not to say that those things, you know, shouldn't be done, but you haven't been carving out time in your day for taking care of you. Okay. For those of you, it's like you may really need to sit down and be like, okay, you know, what can I take off of my plate? What can I give to someone else? What can I delegate? Because you need to clear some space in your daily routine so that it's just for you. For a lot of you, it's just so that you can chill the F out here with recovery, right? You know, even if it's like a 15 minutes of a, you know, maybe it's not a spa day, but it's like a spa 15-minute break or something. That recovery too, that's giving me the energies of like, you know, giving yourself time to breathe, you know, doing some breathing exercises. You guys definitely look into, I actually have a breathing exercise linked in the description box below. I think it's called Breathing Back into Presence. that's one of the first ways to, when you are dealing with an activated nervous system or an activated trigger, that's one of the first ways to combat it immediately, is you first go through, you know, breathing exercises to help neutralize the activated nervous system. Okay. And some of you, you're not even giving yourself time to really just breathe and chill out. And you need to create some mental and emotional space for yourself every single day. Okay. Until it becomes a habit for you. Okay. That's literal. There's literally saying to step back from some of your responsibilities with Emperor in reverse here. This is leadership in reverse. Okay. Stop being so hard on yourself too is another one, because you know, the Emperor in the reverse can be like a tyrant energy. You need to give yourself some grace, right? Give yourself some grace. There may be some self-forgiveness that needs to come up there. Anything to add? Anything to add for clear quartz here? And then we'll wrap up your reading. Ooh, the Queen of Wands. Yeah, that's confidence, right? That's belief in yourself. I'm picking up on solar plexus energy. Leo energy has really been has come out a couple of times. I saw the sun, but it was in the reverse. And so whether or not Leo is dominating your chart somewhere, that's definitely an energy to call out. Now, Leo energy, when I think about Leo energy, is very comfortable in the spotlight, very comfortable with being seen. You know, Leo is another energy that can be, you know, loud and boisterous, but in a fun way. And very glamorous even. We were talking about, you know, some of you needing to revamp your wardrobe. It's like, you know, allow yourself to dress in ways that are noticeable. Allow yourself to speak in ways that are noticeable. It's okay for you to be noticed. It's okay for you to be seen. You're safe now. It's one of those things, right? Yeah, and then with the Queen of Wands, it says exuberance here. It's like, you know, you may unknowingly be holding on to your energy and crowding your energy to yourself, like constricting around yourself so that, you know, you cannot be perceived, you cannot be seen. And for those of you, that may be coming from a space of like, you know, maybe you got in trouble, you know, or maybe you were hurt because you were too loud, or you were too noticeable. Or, you know, this is carrying energies of maybe those of you who may have been, you know, bullied in school. You know, for some of you, there was something coming up about the age of like 20. So something happened in your 20s, okay, for a lot of you, where, you know, it could have had something to do with the leadership role, you know, and I don't know. Let's delve into it. See, I keep wanting to delve into that. What is that leader? What happened in the 20s? What happened in pile one's 20s? Okay, yeah. Something happened in your 20s. It could be a love relationship here, or it could just be something that someone or a relationship that you held very dear to your heart, but it just wasn't what, you know, the seeds of potential was there, and maybe it didn't pan out. And for some of you, it didn't pan out in a very big way. We have the devil, but it's showing up in the reverse though. So I feel like a lot of you may have already done some shadow work around whatever that is. The only thing that is left that's needing to be done is you need to step in and care for and love for yourself the way that you wished, you know, that person or those people would have. Okay. I'm picking up energies of maybe you were feeling ostracized, you were feeling left out, you were feeling criticized. Maybe people, you know, whether it's a person or a group of people, were putting some limitations on you and you believed them, you know, it's things like that. So again, going back to reparenting, there's something with that specific time frame that may help if you go back and revisit it again. If it's something that you know is very traumatic, do that, you know, with a licensed professional, okay? That way you can show up in that space. It's called revision. You go back in that space and you show up as your healed, self-confident goddess or God self. I hope that makes sense. All right, you guys? All right, pile one, that was your reading. Thank you for hanging out with me again today. If this resonated, if you got if you got from the reading what you came here for, make sure you're taking some time out, smashing the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. It's also a great way to show your appreciation. Comment below, let me know that you picked this pile, let me know how it resonated. Smash the subscribe button to become part of the family, as well as the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. Okay, you guys, I will see you guys at your next future spouse pick a card reading. Bye. Hey pile 2, welcome back to my channel. We're doing another future spouse pick a card reading. I'm not going to go through the whole intro, but you guys please go back and watch the intro to this video, okay? If you don't, it's very likely you're going to miss out on some stuff and you're not going to get from this reading what you could be getting if you watch the intro. But I will go back and talk about trigger warnings, okay? I'm not sure what's in this pile, but we are talking about shadow work. We are talking about healing the nervous system and, you know, just the nature of shadow work in and of itself. We may be delving into topics that could be very triggering or very sensitive, okay? So what I won't be doing is, you know, talking about, you know, taking you back into specific memories and stuff like that. But again, go watch the intro, okay? And yeah, just go watch the intro. I'm just being stopped there. Just go watch the intro, okay, pile 2. All right. So we are doing shadow work, all right? So for those of you where, you know, maybe it's been taking you guys a while to manifest in a future spouse or whatever the case may be, that's what we're doing. We're delving into some shadow work that's going to help heal and prime your nervous system to receive and accept in a future spouse into your 3D experience, okay? So we're going to find out what's going on, what might be happening in your shadow or in your nervous system that might be blocking your future spouse from manifesting in. All right, pile 2, just keep in mind it's general, so whatever, you know, resonates, you can claim it, run with it, do what you want with it. If something just isn't resonating and you're like, no, that's not my story, you know, that's not resonating at all, it's, you know, just drop it, leave it for whomever it may resonate. Or you could even pause the video, maybe, you know, do some breathing exercises, reset your energy, and see if there's any other piles that you feel drawn to, okay? So pile 2, you guys were drawn to the Malachite stone. Very good for heart healing, healing the heart chakra. We'll see what comes up. All right, so we have gutted out, feeling like you're gutted out. Okay, so this says it's an extreme reaction to a shocking occurrence or situation that can be felt in your gut. So what's coming up right away, this doesn't have to be anything recent, and what I will do is I'll see where, you know, this originated from. But what can happen is, especially if we don't process the emotional energy, the feeling state that we were experiencing in those moments, even if it's something that happened years and years and years ago, you know, that energy is still circulating in our system. And so that feels like what might be happening here. So some of the questions that you can ask yourself, and if you don't know how to, you know, release through triggers and do shadow work, the process of doing shadow work is actually linked in the description box below. Okay, it's called releasing the wants, but I also, you know, that's where I send people to do the actual process of the shadow work. And some of the questions specifically for releasing this feeling of feeling gutted out will be, can you allow yourself to feel this feeling just for now? Can you let go of feeling gutted out? And something else that you can ask yourself as you're going through, you know, processing out this triggering emotion of feeling gutted out is to allow yourself to feel like, can I allow myself to feel as gutted out as I do, as devastated as I do? Okay, again, check the description box below for that video. A similar feeling, you know, that may help you connect more to the feeling is like feeling heartbroken, okay? But devastation is definitely coming through in terms of like shadow work. What's going on in your nervous system that is, you know, kind of acting as a block for, you know, keeping your future spouse from coming in. And so going deeper, it says, can you welcome and let go of wanting to feel okay or all right? Okay, again, that I know that may sound, for those of you that are not familiar with shadow work, okay, these questions are they'll even feel counterintuitive, okay? They're not. Again, you know, if you don't know how to do shadow work, go check that video that I mentioned earlier. Okay, this is the process of doing the shadow work for pile 2. Let's find out. Let's see. We're going to work with, let's see, soul healing here is the energies that we are activating, and then we've got flower agate. So flower agate is the this is an affirmation to help carry you through. So you know, we're definitely processing out triggers. We're processing out stagnant emotional energies. Once we neutralize that stagnant emotional, you know, energy, and we get to a place where we're feeling calm again, and then we can start to, you know, affirm from a nervous system that is now calm and ready to receive. I hope that makes sense. So your guys' affirmation for pile 2 says, I am creating an abundant future by radiating love and confidence. Okay, radiating love and confidence. Let me find out if there's anything to add here for soul healing. The number 15 could be significant. So key words here, we have soul healing, past life healing, creativity. I am going to ask where, you know, this specific, you know, trigger may have originated from. This is actually saying past life, which may, you know, yeah, I mean, can often happen. The thing with past life origins, though, is that they do tend to reseed in the current life, right? So we'll get some more information about it. All right, so this is a tangerine quartz crystal grid, and it says it's a powerful tool for healing the soul. It is said to help with trauma or shock of any kind. Wow, yeah, how synchronistic is that? This says an extreme reaction. So gut it out again. It says an extreme reaction to a shocking occurrence or a situation that can be felt in your gut. Wow. And then this is talking about helping with trauma or shock of any kind. This is also talking about help with soul retrieval and past life healing, and can show the soul how to see the positive in the lessons it learns. Shamans believe that when we experience trauma or shock, a part of our soul fragments or remains stuck in that time of our life. Yeah, I think I was just talking about that. If you have ever felt you haven't been the same since a certain event happened in your life, it could be a good opportunity to journey back to that event and bring that part of your soul home. Sometimes we can be reliving our past life energy as well. Generally, if you keep doing something or a certain situation keeps happening and you have no idea why, it can indicate past life healing is needed. Working with a shaman can help you in this situation, as can calling on the healing energy or spirit of tangerine quartz. Tangerine quartz will help the soul heal and understand the lesson or gift in each trauma or learning experience. Tangerine quartz is also a beautiful aid to help with creativity and raising kundalini energy, which are both healing activities for the soul that allow you to release blockages and nurture yourself. So we're going to go ahead and ask. I mean, largely right now, it's already coming out that this is something that has originated in a past life. But something had to happen in the current life to anchor that, because that's what's going on here. It's like, you know, a lot of things may be happening in this lifetime as a way, you know, kind of as a karma playing out because of that past life wounding, okay? This shocking event happened first in a past life. Okay, that's a yeah, it did. There is an anchoring event in this lifetime that restarted that karma or restarted that. Yes, okay. So what we're gonna do now, pile 2, is we're gonna see if we can tap into that time. Now, again, you know, this is a general reading, so I'm just going to pull in, you know, most of the energies, but I am going to get kind of like an age range, you know, and then we're going to find out like what happened, what that shocking occurrence is, and this may be where the trigger warning is going to come into effect, okay? If the age range isn't necessarily lining up with you, you know, but the event itself is, just take, you know, take that part that resonates, okay? You're going to know when it happened. For some of you, I am seeing 15, okay? The time of 15, like give or take, you know, a few years. Like I'm hearing the ages of like 13 to 15 could actually be what that was, but let's see. In Pile 2's childhood, preteen, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah. All right. The ages of between 13 and 16 is when that past life experience anchored itself in this life. Okay. So whether you are consciously experiencing that memory now, your shadow is still experiencing that. Okay, so there's definitely something with your past, Pile 2, that needs to be integrated. I'll see if anything wants to come up. Again, it talks about, you know, a shocking occurrence. It was something that was unexpected. You're going to know what that is. All right, let's see. Let's get some guidance on this for Pile 2. I'm definitely picking up, yeah, so soul healing. So there's a part of you that is still stuck in that time frame, ages 13 to 16, okay? Okay. We do have heartbreak, but it's followed by hope and then 8 of Cups. And so what's coming through is, for some of you, someone very important to you could have walked away, could have left you, could have abandoned you. Okay. For some of you, this could be like a parental figure. Whether they actually walked away or not, it could just be, you know, maybe you felt this is carrying energies of you feeling abandoned in some way, shape, or form, whether they actually left or not, okay? Again, a lot of the things that happen and the things that get seeded into our shadows and our nervous systems don't make sense to the conscious mind. It just is what it is, okay? We have air energy showing up. This could have happened during Aquarius season. There could be an Aquarius, you know, that had something to do with Aquarius season. That could be Valentine's Day. For some of you, it's like you were stood up by somebody. Yeah, it could be something like that. But what's going on with but they came back, whoever it was. It doesn't feel like it was a permanent ending. Okay, more than likely a parental figure, okay? A father figure. You were let down by somebody that you really looked up to, okay? Again, we're getting a little bit more into specific energies, which may not resonate for everyone, but just take the elements that do resonate, okay? Whomever this was, this person, you know, it's like they were responsible for you in some way, shape, or form. Specifically, the King of Pentacles is coming up in the reverse. And so this person may have been somebody that should have been responsible for you, kind of like in a material manner, you know, someone that, you know, would have maybe been responsible for you financially as well, but specifically father figures are coming up. So this may be indicative of like a father wound, okay? A father wounding. Something could have happened in between the ages of 13 and 16 where maybe you felt like, you know, your dad or a prominent father figure, whether it was a teacher, you know, or something, someone really let you down, okay? They did end up coming back, but they just may have been very wishy-washy. Very wishy-washy, very maybe back and forth, maybe hot and cold, or you just kind of irresponsible, you know, is that kind of an energy. But specifically, you know, and this person could have been like that throughout your whole childhood, but something is really being highlighted between the ages of 13 and 16, okay? Or it could even be a time range when a lot of this was happening. Another message came through, and this is very specific, so if this doesn't resonate, again, just drop it. For some of you, your father figure, or, you know, your father could have been absent for most of your life, and then they just kind of showed up, you know, they just kind of showed up out of nowhere, but sometime between the ages of 13 and 16, okay? Let's see, what are some actions that Pile 2 can take that'll help prime and ease their nervous system into, okay, yeah, all right, so some of you are having, your nervous system is really having a difficult time with the idea of manifesting in a future spouse because it's not trusting like masculine energy in general. So this is really going to resonate for those of you where you identify more as the divine feminines, okay? Because it's like something, your nervous system is like, you know, divine masculines or husbands or whatever the case may be are, you know, they're irresponsible, they're back and forth all the time. It's just you are equating that with just risk, and that person is kind of a risk to my safety. It's that kind of a thing. You know, but whatever was going on with that person, you know, I mean, that person did love you. With the Queen of Cups here, it's like this person's actions were not aligning with their true feelings, and it very much, and this always happens, you guys, because, you know, people that, I know it sounds so trite and it sounds overused, and it may very well be, but it's because it's true. You know, people just don't inadvertently hurt you. They're usually hurting themselves, right? And I can't remember, someone said we're all just kind of, a lot of us are just collateral damage in someone's unhealed story or something like that. And I feel like that's what's happening here, because the love was always there. There's always messages here of like, yeah, you were disappointed and stuff, but it was never, you know, it may have felt like it was the end for you. But in reality, if you go back and look at things through the lens of, you know, a healed adult, and you're like, okay, that person never really left. They were always somewhere in the background, probably just dealing with their own triggered emotional stuff. I'm not letting them off the hook, whatever the case may be. We're just looking at things from a very logical standpoint. You felt abandoned, right? And not to say that you weren't, and your feelings are definitely validated, but they never truly left. They were, you know, they were always somewhere in the background, maybe just dealing with their own stuff, right? And that's something that maybe that's coming through possibly for you to be able to remind yourself, to remind your nervous system that you actually weren't really abandoned, right? That's going to help heal like that inner child. It's going to help, you know, whatever the case may be. Again, that's getting very specific For those of you where you truly were abandoned, that person left and they didn't come back. I mean, that's not the strongest energy, because we do have like the Death in the reverse and the Eight of Cups in the reverse. It all talks about coming back, right? But for those of you where that part doesn't resonate and that person did left or had left and didn't return, you know, there's still something that's needing to be done about reframing and looking at things differently, you know, to show your nervous system like not everyone is like that. You know what I'm saying? Anything to add for soul healing? Ooh, walk away. Okay, walk away from what? That's the Eight of Cups now showing up in the upright position. This feels like an action step, whether, like, feels like something for you to do is what this is coming through as, pile 2. Walk away from what? Okay, I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing. I am seeing, okay, so, like, the way shadow work the way things can happen is, like, you know, there could be a picture of yourself that you're holding, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, and you're all alone, okay? And you're all alone and you're sitting you're sitting on the floor with your knees kind of up to your chest. And I feel like you're waiting. You're waiting for someone to come and get you, okay? No one's coming. And you're just waiting, waiting, and waiting. And so what I'm seeing, like, part of your shadow work is to go back to that space, that part of you that's just, and I feel like that part of you is, like, you know, ages of like 13 to 16, okay, whatever resonates for you, is the adult healed version of you going to that little boy or that little girl or that kid, right, that teenager, and, you know, urging that person to get up and start moving again, to start walking away. Okay, let's see what else is coming through. You know, for those of you where, you know, your dad or that parental figure or whatever, your crush or something, if they came back, right, in your true experience, you may need to go to that little girl and remind her, or that little boy or that teenager, like, you know, remind them of what really happened. Like, they came back, you know, yeah, we were kind of left out in the cold here, you know, that one moment in time, but they came back, you know, so come on, let's go. We're stuck, you know, we're done being stuck here. We can get moving again. It's okay to move from the space and to, like, kind of join society again. It's that kind of a thing. Anything to add for the Eight of Cups? For some of you, and this is really specific, okay, there is a message that part of what's going to help you heal and process out some of the big T or little t trauma, or that's going to help you, like, get your creativity moving again, is by you know, revisiting, like, maybe painting. This looks like a painting easel to me. Yeah, it is a painting easel. Some of you, you know, part of healing might be something having to do with coloring and drawing and painting and sculpting and molding and things of that nature, creating something and building something with your hands. That's a very kinesthetic way, a 3D way to help work yourself out of being stuck in that moment, whatever that moment may be, okay? We have the Eight of Swords showing up in the reverse, which in the upright position, it talks imprisonment. And so it's here. It's like, you know, you can go. It's like you're free to go. You're free to move. You're free to move on. You're free to go. You just have to remind yourself, you know, take yourself back to that little boy or that little girl, whatever the case may be, and remind them it's okay to move. I feel like you're waiting for something or someone, and you've been stuck. What are you waiting? What is that part of you waiting for? Let's find out. This is part of soul healing. Seven of Swords. Sneakiness. Oh, you're waiting till the coast is clear for some of you. Okay, this is going back to some of you where maybe that shocking moment, something happened and you didn't feel safe. Maybe you were left behind somewhere. There's a whole bunch of different scenarios that are coming through. I'm picking up a scenario where someone, like, they were left somewhere, like with a babysitter or with family, or just they were, you know, and as a child, you may have taken that as, you know, you were left there and you were abandoned. And you got stuck. A part of you got stuck in that moment, and what that part of you is not realizing or remembering is that your parent actually came back and got you. You know, what's the Seven of Swords for what pile 2 is waiting for? We got the Moon showing up with illusion. That's more of that Seven of Cups energy. Okay. This is given energies of, like, you know, you got to be a good little girl. You got to be a good little boy. You got to be a good little whatever. It's like, don't move until you know it's okay. Don't move until the coast is clear. Well, it's like you need to remind yourself that the coast is clear. Again, when things come up in terms of like shadow work, it may not seem like it's going to be directly linked to or affecting your nervous system's desire, I should say, with allowing marriage to come in, but it's linked somehow because this is what's coming up. Okay, so part of your shadow work pile 2 for, you know, helping your nervous system to heal, to allow a future spouse to come in, is to revisit that part of you that got stuck at some point in your childhood and remind yourself how things played out. Remind yourself, like, you know, we're doing fine, you know, we're thriving, or, you know, we're alive. We made it out of that space. We made it out of that spot. You know, we don't have to stay here, stuck here anymore. You know, like literally in your mind, you know, in a meditation, go back to that part of you, you know, that is just posted up, waiting for something, waiting for the coast to be clear, and go tell that part of you, the coast is clear, we're safe to go, we can go, we're not imprisoned here anymore. Okay, for some of you that could be, you know, that may be part of your experience. You know, again, I'm not like a licensed therapist or anything like that. If that's not something, you know, if that's something that you need to walk through, make sure that you do that with, you know, someone who has the schooling for that. Okay, but, you know, going back to that part of you and reminding yourself, we're free to go now. We can go, we can leave. Remember what happened? We got free, you know, we're not there anymore. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that wants to come out in terms of actions to take. What actions? Because actions, experience is how the nervous system actually heals. So there may be some things that come out, like in terms of like actions for you to take. What are some actions for pile 2 to take to help them heal their nervous system so that they can manifest their future spouse in with ease? Let's see. This is literal, okay? For those of you, you know, if you have allowed your space, like your home environment, to get disorganized and cluttered and stuff like that, an actual action step for you to take is to clean your room. Okay, again, some of the stuff that comes up you may not be like, how is that even linked? But, you know, that's how we're talking about healing the nervous system. Okay, this is somehow connected to healing your nervous system so that your nervous system feels safe with allowing marriage to manifest in for you. Part of that is getting your home in order, getting your room in order, cleaning things up, keeping things clean, not for your future spouse, but for yourself. Okay. some of you, it literally is coming through. You may need to hire someone to walk you through shadow work, okay? Because we have Capricorn here, which, you know, in the tarot, that is linked to the Devil card in the tarot, which could literally mean shadow work. So you might, you know, one of the actions for you is to, yes, hire, you know, someone that can maybe take you to some of those more darker memories, those experiences in your past, that have the licensing to do it. Ooh, okay. For some of you, you may need somebody to help walk you through maybe some actual dreams that you've been having, some nightmares specifically is what's coming up, to face some of those inner demons, okay? Because we have Capricorn here, and then we also have Neptune, and Neptune here talks about healing, dreams. It says mysticism, psyche, imagination, fantasies, and addiction. So for those of you where you may have been using some kind of an addictive substance, it can be anything. It can be food, it can be narcotics, it can be, you know, anything that you're using as a way to help dissociate from a feeling gutted out or something that's stemming from the past, getting help with that. Okay, we're talking about some actual 3D steps for you to take to help with that shadow work so that, you know, your nervous systems feel safe manifesting in and experiencing a future spouse in the 3D reality, okay? And again, you know, once you have gone through and you've processed out some of these triggers and you've helped your nervous system to get to a space of neutrality, like it's fine. It's fine with, you know, having a future spouse come in, and even just neutralizing a trigger in, you know, in real time. You know, once you are emotionally neutralized, then you can start calling in, you know, through affirmation. The affirmation here again is I just heard I'm feeling abundance, okay? I am creating an abundant future by radiating love and confidence. I am creating an abundant future by radiating love and confidence. Let me find out, because I just heard your nervous system actually. I just caught it. Your nervous system for some reason is feels very uncomfortable with that. Your nervous system is very uncomfortable with you radiating love and confidence. Let's find out what that's about. What's that about? I'm talking to your nervous system and your shadow pile too. Why are you uncomfortable with that? There's the King of Wands. That's Leo energy coming through. Masculine energy. We got Temperance. That's Sagittarius energy. Then we got the Queen of Wands coming out here, but it's in reverse. Okay, there's an imbalance here between the masculine and the feminine. This feels like, and just keep in mind, we all have inner masculine and inner feminine energies, but there's something here about whether this was directly picked up or if this was just modeled or what the case may be. Something about, you know, feminine energy, like it's not okay for the feminine energy to be exuberant. It's not okay for the feminine energy to shine. It's not okay for the feminine energy to speak up and to speak out. There's something about feminine energy, like the feminine trying to like keep itself hidden, keep itself closed in. And there's different reasons, there's different scenarios coming in for those, you know, some of you, that could just be something that you learned, you know, growing up. That may have been a societal thing or a cultural thing, like, you know, the masculine energies you know, had to say, you said on like gender roles, right? Or something that's coming through. But there's something about your nervous system now feeling like, you know, as a woman or as a feminine, it's not okay for you to speak up and speak out. It's not okay for you to shine. It's not okay. That may be something too. You may be keeping your energy kind of on lockdown because for some reason when you were younger, it wasn't allowed. You didn't feel safe doing that. It wasn't allowed, it wasn't accepted, it wasn't appreciated, whatever the case may. It could have even brought on like criticism or something like that. And so, you know, part of you being able to open up your energy is feeling safe with, you know, allowing yourself to radiate love and confidence. And it's interesting to note here that radiating love and confidence is like the hallmark of, you know, fire energy, wand energy that's coming out. All this wand energy coming out, right? We got the king of the king of wands, the queen of wands, and we got temperance. All of that is fire energy. There's something going on, pile 2, about you not feeling comfortable in the spotlight, not feeling comfortable being the focal point of attention, you not feeling comfortable, you know, allowing your light to shine. There's energies here about you not feeling comfortable, really radiating and sparkling and you know, stuff like that. Okay, that's definitely a part of your shadow work. Okay, but starting here, this is where it's wanting you to start. There's some occurrence here, you know, and it could be just something that's been on repeat, but feeling gutted out about something. Okay, an extreme reaction to a shocking occurrence or situation that can be felt in the gut, feeling kicked in the gut, like you were hit or punched in the gut, right? Trigger warning for some of you, that could have actually happened. And there, you know, that's part of the shadow work is, you know, revisiting that point and processing out the emotional energy that is still binding you up in that moment. Okay. So again, some of the questions to ask yourself to help process this out is, can you allow yourself to feel this feeling just for now? Instead of like running away from it, trying to numb it out, you know, trying whatever the case may be. Again, for more full thing of how to process out these triggers, check the description box below for that video called Releasing the Wands, okay? A similar feeling is feeling heartbroken. And then you can go deeper by asking yourself, can you welcome and let go of wanting to feel okay or wanting to feel all right? Because whenever we want to feel something, we're focused on not feeling all right. Again, it may seem counterintuitive to you if that, you know, and that's how shadow work is. A lot of it is going to feel counterintuitive at first until you get into the actual work of doing shadow work. A lot of this will make sense if you go check out that video. All right, you guys, pile 2, that was your reading. Thank you for hanging out with me again today. If this resonated, if you got from this video what you came here for, make sure you're taking some time out, if you would, smash the like button for me. It's a great way to show your appreciation as well as donate energetically to the channel. Comment below, let me know that you picked this pile, let me know how it resonated. Hit that subscribe button to become part of the family, as well as a notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And I will see you guys at your next future spouse pick a card reading. Bye. Hey pile 3, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle and we are back doing another future spouse pick a card reading. This is specifically, we're going to be talking about some shadow work, okay? Shadow work, which heals the nervous system. Shadow work automatically heals the nervous system, regardless of, you know, whether you have any intention linked to it or not. And healing the nervous system is awesome because it helps to you know, manifest your desires in with ease. Because a lot of the times what we're not realizing is, you know, a lot of us want things, a lot of things consciously, and we just never see, like, even if we get them, a lot of the times we have a problem like manifesting in exactly what it is we want, or being able to keep that manifestation. And the reason why that is because there's something with our nervous system that directly opposes that, or it sees that desire or the manifestation of that desire as some kind of a threat to our livelihood, right? And so that's what we're doing. We are doing shadow work. That's going to help heal your nervous system, specifically the parts of your nervous system that may be opposed to experiencing actual marriage, like in our 3D reality. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the full intro. I did record an intro for this video, so please go back and watch it, okay? If you don't, you may miss out on some things. You may not get from this reading what you would get had you watched the intro, okay, you guys? And I want to make sure that you get everything that you need, or that you come here for. I am going to reiterate the trigger warning though, okay? I'm going to voice that disclaimer again, because the very nature of shadow work is getting into some heavier topics that may be very triggering, some very sensitive topics, okay? So just keep that in mind, all right? Now, I'm not gonna, you know, be taking you back and hypnotizing you and stuff like that. I don't have the scope for that. I'm not licensed for that. If that comes through, I will, you know, tell you that maybe one of the things you do need to do to help integrate some of that shadow work is to go and hire an actual professional that's licensed for stuff like that. All right, you guys? All right, pile 3, just keep in mind it's a general reading, so whatever resonates, take it, run with it. You know, if some things do come up that just, you're like, that doesn't seem like that's my experience, that's not resonating, it's okay. And just kind of reset yourself, you know, do some breathing exercises and see if maybe some of the other piles call out to you. All right. I do have personal readings available if you would like for me to tap exclusively into your energy. And you can actually hire me if you want me to help you facilitate and go through some shadow work. Okay. I'm not talking about, like, you know, not talking about regression into like traumatic experiences, if that's not what's required, but, you know, something, if you're wanting some help, maybe moving through some shadow work to help for the purposes of helping to manifest in your future spouse, I can definitely help you out with that. Okay. So yeah, we can delve into your specific shadow, the things going on with your specific nervous system that may be acting as a block to manifesting in marriage. Okay, I have just go look at the live in-person readings that we can meet one-on-one through Zoom, and there are I'm being distracted by something. We'll see what that has to do with. Just check check the description box. Payment plans are available depending on, you know, the allotment of time that you choose. All right, so you guys were drawn to the Smoky Quartz. I'm feeling blocked right away. Yeah, I'm feeling blocked. Let me see what's going on here. Let's see, let me get these situated real quick. Oh, control. All right, this is wanting control of his person, situation, or an outcome. It says, okay, you guys, you know, don't kill the messenger. I'm just talking about, and this is a safety issue, okay? This is where this is coming from, is your nervous system has a need to control even the most minute of details because of safety. There's a safety issue, right? And so we'll find out where this is coming from, or why, right? Where this originated from. Because right next to it we have, you know, we're activating the energies of peace here, and then apophyllite, the affirmation that you can start to affirm to yourself to kind of help anchor in the desire of manifesting in a future spouse into your nervous system, anchoring in that intention into your nervous system, so that your nervous system is like, okay, yes, this is something that we want to do. It's going to be through apophyllite here, which says, I release past attachments to attract healthy and meaningful experiences. So let me see if peace has, what more peace might have in the book. A lot of earth energies are coming out. Earth energy is Virgo dominantly is coming out. Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. Okay, so the peace crystal grid, it's made of a skull, is it skullsite? I can't say that right. And then it says in tree agate. I may not be saying skullsite right, but skullsite and tree agate. It talks about peace patterns and connections. It says a time of peace is coming your way. Oh, is it skullsite? It says it's an excellent stone to bring peace to relationships and help with improving connections within groups, or help with networking people. Oh my gosh, I just heard nitpicking. You guys, this, oh my gosh. Pile 3, I'm sorry. This is, I'm just going to tell you straight out. This pile 3, y'all, I hope it is. It's going to be calling you out, okay? And I can already feel like the frustration that's going to come from you guys. So what I want you to do, pile 3, because remember, this reading is meant to help you, okay? And there's reasons why things happen the way that they do. There's reasons why, you know, you behave the way that you do. There's something going on within your shadow and your nervous system. It's like we need to get in there and loosen some things up, okay? So I need you to kind of do some breathing exercises. If you don't have some breathing exercises that you know how to do, I actually do have something that's linked in the description box below, called Breathing Back into Presence. We need to kind of loosen up your energy a bit so that you are in receiving mode when it comes to receiving what you may feel like as correction, okay? Which, you know, I mean, I guess that is kind of what's happening here, especially if you're here and you're watching and manifesting in a future spouse has been a desire of yours for a while and it hasn't been happening. You're not sure what's going on. You may even be getting frustrated with the journey. And you're being called out, pile 3, and I'm trying to figure, I'm like racking my mind, like how can I provide this and give this to pile 3 in a way that's not going to automatically put your guard up, because I feel like you guys may have a guard up, you know, whether you realize it or not, that you have a guard up, pile 3. I tapped into it as soon as I was getting into your energy, like I felt like you shut me down right away, okay? And this is something that your shadow, that your nervous system is doing. Okay, whether you're aware of it or not. So you are, pile 3, I'm just going to tell you right now, you are going to be called out on the carpet. There is going to be kind of an energy of like some correction coming through. I hope that you know that it's coming with the best of intentions, because I'm wanting to help you get past that part of yourself that you may not even be realizing is sabotaging your desire from coming in, okay? It's okay if you need to pause the video and be like, if something comes up and it's triggering and an automatic, like a wall is coming up for you and you're like, nope, right? Okay. You know, as your reader, I can see and sense that. Whatever feelings come up with that, right? If feelings of anger come up, feelings of, you know, wanting to defend yourself come up, feelings of wanting to be right and wanting, you know, maybe me or other people to see things the way that, you know, these are all feelings, right? These are all triggered responses, all coming from the same space, which is this space of needing control, wanting control of a person, of a situation, or an outcome, okay? Pause, go through the releasing the wants process, you know, neutralize whatever that defensive feeling is. you know, and when you feel a little bit more neutralized, come back and continue the reading. Okay. I promise you, if you really felt, if you, and I can tell you, this is your reading, pile 3, if you're starting to feel triggered. This is your reading if you're wanting to just turn it off and not deal with it. This is your reading. Okay. It may be, difficult to, I'm hearing for some of you, it is going to be difficult to, what do they call that? Like, almost like you're being force fed, right? It's going to be difficult. I'm not trying to force feed you though, but it's going to be a difficult pill to swallow. Okay. But it's ultimately, it's for your highest good, and it's for the benefit of clearing out space in your nervous system to allow your future spouse to come in. Okay. Because I just heard nitpicking. Some of you are very nitpicky. You nitpick a lot. Okay. And that's all coming from that need to control. And I understand, you know, and maybe you understand too, there's a part of you that feels like you have to do that because that's part of your nervous system's way of helping you to feel safe. Having control over even the most minute details in your environment, that's how you feel safe, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way that, you know, your nervous system decided for whatever reason, that's what's safe for you, okay? But what I'm hearing is, you know, in order to help your nervous system loosen up and, you know, to get in there and kind of, you know, is part of it is relinquishing control. What happens when you stop nitpicking? Some of you, I'm hearing that maybe, you know, part of what might be keeping your future spouse from coming in, you may have a very rigid expectations, very rigid standards. You know, you may have a list that's like, you know, 5 pages long, front and back, of who you demand your future spouse be. Right? And anybody that's not checking off all those boxes, you know, so it's something like that. There's a lot of rigidity coming through, nitpicking, over controlling, and all of it stems from the same space. It's like wanting to feel safe, right? And so, let's see what else is coming through for peace. And we're going to look into like where some of these things, you know, because that's part of what the shadow work is meant for, is getting in there and loosening things up and creating space within your nervous system so that, you know, you can, you know, allow your future spouse to make it in. Okay, let's see. Again, going back to, let's see, this piece, crystal grid here, it says you may have been experiencing some negativity, and you are in need of finding inner peace, a place where you can step away and just breathe. So one of the questions to ask yourself, pile 3, is what if you kind of released, what if you let go of the reins for a minute? What happens? Let go of the steering wheel and just let things unfold as they're meant to. What happens? The first thing I heard is catastrophe. Okay? So there might be something going on with your shadow, pile 3, where it's like, if I let go of control, it's like everything is going to crumble. Catastrophe is going to happen. Something, you know, catastrophic is going to happen. It says you need to take time out for you and put yourself first. Peace can come by finding your center, just as the stellium is placed in the center of the grid. Find your center, find your peace. Call upon stellium when you need, and the it's not a caveat. The thing here is like, that's almost why it's like, you know, there's a very wounded part of you that's like holding on to control, because that's your way of believing, right, that you're going to experience peace. But true peace is gonna come for you, pile 3, when you're able to just release your energy, because I feel like you're spending so much of your energy is going into micromanaging even the most minute of details around you. And this, like I said, this could be tying into wanting to manifest in a future spouse. Like you're wanting to control every single little thing about it. Like they got to look like this. They got to have this kind of job. They got to, be this tall. They got to blah, 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 blah. They got to have this, even the most minute of details. They got to have this color hair, this color eyes, they got to make this kind of money and have that kind of job and wear these kinds of clothes and wear, whatever the case may be. They got to behave like this and look like this and believe this and blah, 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 right? And it's like, let me see what else this is going to say. You're spending so much of your energy trying to control even the most minute of details. There isn't anything really left for yourself. This is really it. Okay, so some of the things that are coming up for your shadow pile 3, it's very complicated and it's very intricate. We will get more into it to see if we can pull on that thread, like where to start, right? Like the thread that you're going to start pulling on, even though it feels very complicated and it feels very, what the word that keeps coming up, pile 3, is rigid. There is a rigidity to your energy that is like blocking a lot of things out. Because, oh man. Oh, this is a tough pile for me. Oh my gosh, this is a tough pile for me. You guys may not like it when people correct you. You may see it as criticism. A lot of you, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, this could be coming from a very subconscious part of you. You don't want me speaking out against what might be quote unquote wrong with you. Okay? What isn't right about you. And, from a higher 35,000 foot view, you're not broken. I know that you're not broken. We're talking about shadow aspects, right? We're talking about wounded egos and wounded inner children and stuff like that, and there's a part of you that's like, you cannot be judged and criticized. You don't deal with it very well. It does something to you, right? Because I'm feeling you, like your energy, your shadow, or your whatever that wounded aspect of you is like closing my throat up and not wanting me to talk about it. Okay. Hold on, I'm reading this again. Let's see. Scollicide is especially useful for bringing in calm and peace within a group, so you all work together and in flow. Coupled with tree agate, like a circle of tree protection, this grid can instill a sense of security and strength to face any situation you may be facing. Be the scollicide in the center of a ring of protection and find your inner peace again. When you find your center, you will know. You will feel grounded and strong, and your mind will be clear, enabling you to stand your ground, and most of all, you will feel peace. When you feel and irradiate peace from within, you will attract peace around you. Sometimes you need to let go of controlling what's happening around you. Oh my gosh, it says sometimes you need to let go of controlling what's happening around you and shift your energy within. Wow. And then we have the apophyllite with the affirmation that says, I release past attachments to attract healthy and meaningful experiences. And so let's find out what's going on, because that is part of the reading. We're going to find out where this shadow, this, I don't want to call it a block, but, just for the purposes of maintain, going along with the reading, let's find out where this started. All right. How can I best help pile 3? Because I want you to be happy, pile 3. I really do. And I hope you know that the whole purpose of this reading is talking about because every single pile, all of our shadows, everything, it's like we're getting in our own way. All of us are in different ways, shapes, and form. But what's coming up, pile 3, so far, I feel like you might be the pile that's going to be the most, like, feeling defensive, like on the defense. Like, you know, you may have a more difficult time accepting correction from other people. You may have a difficult time admitting that maybe you were wrong about something. And all that is, it's there's nothing wrong with being wrong. It doesn't mean anything about you personally, you know. It doesn't make you any less of a worthy person to not be right, to not be perfect. There's elements of perfectionism in here now. Yeah, now I'm seeing. Yeah, there's perfectionism in here. Needing yourself to be perfect, needing your environment to be perfect, needing your future spouse to be perfect. And of course, you know, consciously you might be like, oh, well, I know that, you know, not everyone's perfect and blah, blah, blah. We're talking about your shadow, and we're talking about your nervous system, okay, which often are not, they don't make sense, right? And it can very often well be, and that could be a defense mechanism too. It's like, well, you know, if you set up an ideal of perfectionism, then that could very well be your nervous system's way of making sure you stay safe by not allowing anybody close to get to you, right? Because there's no such thing as perfect. Yeah, I mean, there might be something that's perfect for you, but I have a feeling, pile 3, that you have built up a list of standards and expectations of who, you know, your future spouse needs to be in order to be with you. And if just the regular normal person were to look at it, would be like, oh my effing God. Right? Are you kidding? Like, so you want perfect, you want a unicorn, that's what you want. And you're not understanding and realizing that unrealistic thing, it's like you're taking the humanity out of somebody, right? I might be getting a bit, what's that called? See, I can't even think now. Your energy, pile 3, is very overpowering. Oh yeah. And there goes a car alarm in the background. You're not wanting to hear it. I already know. You don't want to hear it. But pile 3, again, you know, and it just got louder. Oh my God, that was crazy. I know, I can feel it. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. And, you know, and you don't have to. That's your right. If you want to click off here and you're done listening to this, you know, I totally get it. I understand. You know, I'm all for it. You know, I'm like, hey, if pile 3 can manifest in a unicorn or, you know, their ideal person, by all means. Right? But if you were attracted or drawn to this pile and you feel called out and you know that you have a list of, you know, who your future spouse needs to be like a mile long, then obviously, you know, you're here for a reason. And so at least consider it, right? Just be curious, like adopt an air of curiosity and maybe just be willing to hear it out. And then, you know, if you want to, you know, leave the reading and maintain where you're at in your that's fine, right? I want what you want for you, even if it's, you know, even if I might look at your list and be like, this isn't realistic, right? But I'm, you know, I'm not one to limit anybody. And at the same time, there is very much a possibility here. What's coming through pile 3 is be very aware and very cautious that that list of expectations could be your shadow's way of protecting you from ever having like a future spouse come in. Right? Because your nervous system may be equating marriage and future spouses with threats. And so what's the way to keep pile 3 from ever meeting anybody and ever getting married. Well, let's build up the perfect, right? Let's get a list of characteristics and expectations and whatever character traits and whatever a mile long. That, you may not realize pile 3 that is your shadow's way, is your nervous system's way of keeping you safe. Okay, you don't have to believe me now if you don't want to. Okay, just kind of keep that in mind, file it away somewhere, and I hope you find it. Okay, if you do, pile 3, if you actually find it for real, come in. I want to know about it. I want to hear all about it. Okay, if it does turn out that list, right, of whatever the ideal person for you turns out to be kind of, factoring out a lot of potential people, and maybe like a year from now you're no closer to manifesting in a future spouse, maybe come back here and be like, okay, maybe there's something here for me. Okay. Anyway, okay, so let's get back to your reading. Show me at what age. Okay, first of all, is this a past life thing, or is this past life? No, it's present life. Okay. Did this start in pile 3's childhood? Preteens. Okay, so preteen, I'm specifically hearing the ages of 9 to about 13. Okay, 9 to 13. This lifetime, what happened? Let's see. Did you have to move around a lot, pile 3? That may be getting very specific. I'm getting okay, so it could be, one specific moment from the age of 9 to 13, or it could be literally you experienced this from the ages of 9 to about 13, but something happened. Your sense of stability, your sense of certainty was took a major hit, a sense of certainty. So I'm picking up a very specific scenario of somebody. There's two different things: having to pick up and move, okay, having to uproot from one place to another. But there's a sense of somebody lost a job, okay, somebody was evicted. And it's like you lost your home because of someone else's irresponsibility. Okay, that's kind of the general feeling that's coming up here. Now, that specific experience doesn't have to be yours, but it's something very similar to that's coming through. Is there anything else to add here? And so, there was kind of, whether you realize it or not, you may have made some kind of a vow to yourself, like you're never going to let anybody be in control of you again, right? And so that kind of took on a life of its own over the years. And yes, it's having a very direct effect on your nervous system, allowing and accepting the experience of marriage into your life, okay? Because, relationships with other people can be, very, very messy. And that's the thing. It's like, if you have a list a mile long of how somebody needs to act and how they need to look and what they need to do in order for you to be happy, in order for you to feel safe, right? I just heard the word curated. I kind of have a sense of what that means. Hold on, I'm literally gonna look it up, because I feel like maybe something about your life or your environment or something being overly curated. What does curated mean? Hold on, curated meaning. The meaning of curated is carefully chosen and thoughtfully organized or presented. Yeah, carefully gathered, sifted, chosen, and organized. You know, and there's no shade on that, right? People are the way that they are for a reason, but you might be overdoing it. That's the thing, okay? There's nothing wrong with wanting a curated life, with wanting things to be, you know, I mean, that there's natural that can be very much Virgo energy, right? Being very organized, being, you know, carefully being, you know, very detail, you know, oriented and stuff like that. But then, you know, fear can hijack those natural tendencies and overdo them. That's the thing. There's nothing wrong with, you know, wanting your environment to look, you know, aesthetic and clean and organized, or just, you know, being somewhat picky about things. There's even nothing even wrong with being even a little bit picky, right? It's when it goes up, but it's when it's too much. Okay, there's a too muchness to the it's like it's overly curated is what's coming through. Okay, being overly curated. What's coming through, pile 3, is you need to loosen up your grip on control. Loosen up your grip on control. And I know that can be very fear-inducing, okay, when there's a part of your nervous system that's like, you know, the minute you let go of control, and then it's like there's this, I'm seeing an image of like you letting go of the wheel, right? And then just crashing out. And sometimes, pile 3, that's what needs to happen. You know, part of doing shadow work is allowing yourself to really face your, you know, the big bad wolf, or to face whatever your Goliath is. And sometimes, you know, you let go of the wheel and you realize like, oh, hey, it's driving itself in a very beautiful way. And sometimes you let go of the wheel and all of a sudden it's like you crash right into, you know, what you weren't wanting to crash into. Let's see, let's get some, let's find out about some action. What actions can pile 3 take to kind of help with this a little bit? Because the way that the nervous system heals, pile 3, is by way of actual experience, right? So, repeated experience. What are some actions pile 3 can take? I just heard delegate. Okay, so this is waxing crescent, and it literally says planning, which I get that you guys probably, maybe you over plan some stuff on, but that's okay. That's part, I feel like that's part of your natural makeup, pile 3. You know, you're someone that organizes, you're someone that plans, and it's like, it's okay for you to, you know, a part of taking action towards kind of loosening your grip on control is allowing yourself to plan for what might happen, you know, should things go down the drain. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, it says burying crystals, strategizing, going within, intuition, build yourself up. That's the High Priestess. Okay, so set your intentions, but tell me some action steps though. Communication. Delegate. Yes, delegate's coming through. There's something about delegating. And this may have nothing to do with, there may not be a direct connection to your conscious mind between this and allowing a future spouse in. Okay, your nervous system allowing a future spouse in. But this is especially going to be true for those of you, like if you own a business or something about delegating, like trusting other people to take over some of the tasks that you guys, it's funny. There's something there's a direct scenario that's coming up just to kind of give you as an example. Like, you know, if you're somebody that has a very, you know, you got a very specific way of how the dishwasher needs to be loaded. So it's like, you know, you're not going to let anybody else load the dishwasher because nobody else loads it right? And so it's like, okay, maybe you can delegate that to someone else. Okay, and step back and not micromanage, as long as, like, you know, what you need to keep your mind on is like, okay, maybe you can show them, right? And maybe show them why. Like, why does it have to be loaded in that specific way? And it may very well be like, well, if it's not loaded that way, then the dishes are not going to be clean to the fullest capacity, right? You know, and plan for, you know, what might happen if, you know, they don't load the dishwasher the way that you wanted them to. What does that mean? What's that going to entail, right? And so for some of you, it might be like, oh, then I'm going to have to go back and do it. No, you know, how can you continue to delegate so that, you know, not to have to micromanage everything? Is it true that if you don't load the dishwasher exactly like that, that the dishes are not going to be clean? And for some of you, the answer is yeah, like you've seen it. Like if they don't load the dishwasher this way, then it's going to leave like nasty residue and stuff. Then, you know, that's when you go to that person, like, this is why it needs to be done this way. You know, maybe that person can eat off of that dirty plate if they're not listening to you. You see what I'm saying? It's just little things like that. But definitely, delegation is going to help prime your nervous system to be like, okay, it's okay to allow other people more autonomy. And, you know, because you're coexisting in a world with other people, you know, and if you're not, then you're hermiting. That's also Virgo energy, that you may be isolating and you may be hermiting because over time it's just like you've overtaken everything in your life, every single role, right? And so there's an energy here. Part of your shadow work, pile 3, is opening yourself and your life back up to other people again, and delegating things to other people, you know, and allowing for other people's imperfections, whatever they may be, even if that person doesn't load the dishwasher right. There can be a teaching moment in that for both of you. You might see them like load the dishwasher wrong and then things still come out clean. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like slowly start delegating things to other people. Okay. What others? That's action number 1. Okay. Start allowing, because that's going to show your nervous system slowly but surely you can trust other people to have active roles in your life where, you know, the end result is still achieved whether they do it your way or not. Okay. Anything else for pile 3 in terms of actions to take? Be flexible. It says balanced, measured, and be flexible, which is the direct opposite of control. So that might be something else too. That could be literal. Like some of you may need to, like, you know, start doing more stretching exercises. It's like, you know, a lot of, what do they say? As above, so below. And so in order for, you know, that might help like doing yoga or Pilates or some kind of, you know, where you're kind of exercising that rigidity out of your body, because we can. It's like, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the times if we're very rigid in our thinking and in our emotional states, I mean, our bodies can mirror that and become very stiff. So there might be something for some of you coming through pile 3, believe it or not. You know, I'm not a doctor, so whatever, you know, but just try it and see what happens. You might be surprised to find that as you loosen up in your mental and in your emotional energy, that your body actually starts to like loosen up as well. Some of you may have like stiff joints, you might have arthritis, you might have, you know, just stiffness overall. And then as you start to work on loosening up your grip, just on control in general, your actual physical body starts to loosen up as well, and you become a lot more flexible. So you become a lot more flexible, you know, muscle wise, body wise, as you become more flexible in your mental and your emotional energy. That's interesting. Okay. But what's coming through is that would be an awesome way to remind yourself every day to loosen up mentally and emotionally, and loosen up in terms of control is by stretching every day. Right? You can create some kind of a 3D ritual to remind yourself, like, it's okay to be flexible. It's okay to be bendable. It's okay to yield, right? And surrender. It's okay. It's okay to not be so fixed. All right, see, let me find out what is talking about here, like past attachments. What's that attachment about? What's this past attachment? Because if this feels like literal, like releasing a past attachment to attract healthy and a meaningful experience. And it may be that past memory we're talking about between the ages of 9 and 13. Three of Swords. It was something very heartbreaking. Also very disappointing, but the Three of Swords is specifically talking about heartbreaks. You were let down, okay, by someone. There's that Virgo energy. And you could have been let down by a Virgo, okay, or somebody with very, you know, you could have been let down by somebody who was also in that period of their life where they were isolating. They weren't taking responsibility. What you may not realize, pile 3, is that, and this again could be very specific, so this, if this resonates, awesome. If not, just hold on, okay? Because I was picking up on a scenario where, you know, you were put in the position where you lost your home, whether you were a child or not, and it was due to the irresponsibility of somebody else, okay? I'm picking up on eviction, okay? And it could be multiple evictions. And the reason that's coming through is it's quite possible that whoever was, you know, and this could be a parent, right? The parent was they were in freeze mode. If you know anything about the nervous system, you know, fight, flight, fawn, and then there's freeze response, right? Your nervous system can, over time, accumulate and hold on to so much traumatic energy that eventually you go from fight, flight, or fawn, which is a sympathetic nervous system response, down to like dorsal, which is freeze. And basically, you know, you put that in terms of like, you know, prehistoric times, or, you know, the caveman days, or whatever the case may be. You know, the sympathetic nervous system is what triggered, like, okay, action, we have to take action, whatever the action may be, whether we fight, whether we run, or whether we fawn, which would mean, you know, fawning is when you do whatever it takes to appease the person or the situation, right? You still have the energy left to do those things, but then after a while, it's like, or, you know, if you're already caught up, right? If if you're running and you're running and you're running and you're running, or you're fighting and you're fighting and you're fighting, and you lose, you know, if a bear catches you or a dinosaur catches you, whatever the case may be, that's when your nervous system shuts down and is like, all right, just kill me already, right? And that's when it goes back, that's when it goes into dorsal and everything just shuts down. You become numb. The body basically goes in shock. And, you know, in real life, modern times, what that looks like is not being able to get out of bed, or not being able to take the actions that you know that you need to take in order to save the sinking ship, right? And that's what I'm picking up for the experience that you dealt with. And I believe that's coming through so that you can put into perspective, like, what happened to you, why that happened, why that person was so irresponsible, was because they were in freeze mode. They knew it wasn't that they didn't want to take action. It was just that they, you know, their own nervous system was so hijacked, and so it was shut down. Their nervous system was shut down, okay? So letting you know where that came from. So yeah, so, you know, release the past attachment that you might have to that period of time, or whatever that experience was, right? And clear up whatever triggers or emotional energy is still kind of keeping that story or that fear or that doubt going. And then replace it with, you know, I attract healthy and meaningful experiences. I'm not attracting experiences that are causing me to feel like I have to control every minute detail of them. I hope that makes sense. All right, pile 3. Okay, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If this resonated, do me a favor, make sure you're smashing the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. Smash the subscribe button to become part of the family, as well as the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And I will see you guys at your next future spouse pick a card reading by pile 3. Pile 4, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card future spouse reading. So this one is, we're doing shadow work, okay? Shadow work, which just happens to heal the nervous system regardless of whether or not you have intention for it or not, right? But we are talking about shadow work directly related to manifesting in a future spouse, okay? So if you haven't watched the intro to the reading, please go do that right now. There's some things that I share in the intro that possibly if you don't watch it, you may not get from this reading what you could get if you did watch it, okay? But I am going to reiterate, though, the trigger warning, because the very nature of shadow work is we're talking about some heavier, possibly triggering subjects, and so I just want to make sure that you guys are in the right space to, maybe handle some of these heavier topics should they, sensitive, heavier topics should they come up and, maybe trigger you. All right, you guys, so I just wanted to put that out there. Again, pile 4, you guys were drawn to the rainbow fluorite. Just keep in mind, you guys, it's general, all right? So whatever resonates, you can take it, run with it. If something does not resonate, definitely leave it behind for the people who it does resonate for. I do have personal readings available if you would like for me to tap exclusively into your energy and get you specifically guided answers. If you want to work with me in terms of doing shadow work to help manifest in a future spouse, I am available for those. Just check out the in-person one-on-one Zoom sessions with me, linked in the description box below. Payment plans available. All right, you guys. Okay, let's see. Let's get right to your reading. Pile 4. Let's find out the overall energies here. Oh, your guys is feels a lot. I like this. I like the energy of this pile, you guys. Okay, and that may very well be because you guys may have already done a lot of shadow work related to manifesting in a future spouse, or just maybe you've done a lot of shadow work for just in general, right? And so it doesn't feel like there's a lot of the shadow work left to do. All you really need to do now is just prime your nervous system through way of experience, okay? And so that's what we're going to talk about here. So yay, pile 4. Okay, you're like over 3/4 of the way there. Okay, there's not a lot of shadow work left for you to do. It's just yeah, it's just the experience part of it, okay? So here we have vision. It says, do you have a compelling vision for your future? So the way that the nervous system, the way that we seed and plant intentions into our nervous system is by way of experience, okay? Experience both in the real world in 3D, right? And then experience in terms of like imagination, daydreaming, stuff like that. But there's a very big difference between dissociating, right? There's a difference between visualizing and then dissociating. And so we want to make sure that we are, we're doing this the right way. So if you know that you are somebody who tends to kind of daydream a lot and you kind of escape in your thoughts a lot, then you're going to want to do more things in the 3D, like actual actions in the real world, in order to help kind of prime your nervous system and seed that intention into your nervous system, okay? But the vision says, so you want to make sure that you have a compelling vision of, life with your future spouse. So have you spent time visualizing what that's like, but doing it from a first person point of view, not from like a third person? So we're getting very technical here, right? Because I feel like you guys have done most of the shadow work. So now we're just talking about the manifestation part of it. So what you want to do is you want to literally, first you want to imagine like a scene with you and your future spouse. You know, maybe, you know, not necessarily like after you guys have already gotten married, after you guys have already settled down into married life, right? After the honeymoon, you guys are in everyday life. So, you know, maybe it's, you know, you waking up next to your future spouse, and putting yourself, like, not looking at it as if you're watching a movie, but you're putting yourself in it as if you are in the movie and acting out the movie yourself, right? So you integrate yourself into that scene as you're living it out. So, you know, you're laying next to your future spouse, you know, maybe they're spooning you or you're spooning them, but whatever the case may be, you can feel their skin on your skin, you know, whether you're naked or clothed or whatever the case may be, you're feeling it. You can feel it, right? You know, you can smell, maybe you can smell their breath, right? Morning breath, you know, all the little intricate things, and really put yourself in that scene and get that compelling vision. You know, when you wake up, you know, it may be something where, for those of you where it's maybe difficult for you to have an actual, like, a vision of it where you can picture it. So maybe just, you know, you wake up but your eyes are still closed, and so what you're feeling is the feeling of their skin. You know, if they're wearing pajamas, you can feel what, you know, what kind of pajamas are they wearing? Is it cotton? Is it nylon? You know, are they pants, or are they, you know, boxers, or is it lingerie, or whatever the case may be? What's the feeling of that cloth? What's it feel like against your skin? You know, feel what it feels like for them to be breathing next to you, stuff like that. Like, really getting immersed in that scene, because that is what's helping to prime your nervous system and say, this is what I want, this is safe for me, this is okay, this is something that we desire to experience, and it's safe for me to experience this. All right, let's see. And then with passion, let's find out if passion says something more. So the name of this grid is Ruby Record Keeper. So Ruby Record Keeper. It's, yeah, so something about passion, because I'm seeing, making sure you're not falling into a low energy state. It's infusing. Okay, so you need to infuse this with more energy. Infuse it with, you know, enthusiasm and passion. And I'll see what I feel like there's some resistance, or there's some kind of a block there. I'll see what that is. Let me find out. So this is passion, shield, courage. It says ruby is a stone that stimulates the base, sacral, and heart chakras. Draw on it when you need courage or strength. You may have exhausted yourself doing too much, or you are battling through some life changes. Oh, okay, hold on. It says it's time to recharge your batteries with ruby and stimulate your creativity as well as your vitality. That's what it's talking about, a low energy state. Okay, give me a minute. It's time to bring passion back to your life while ensuring you remember to nurture yourself. We need to give our bodies the right nutrition, so when we find our passion for something, okay, hold on. Let me restart. It says we need to give our bodies the right nutrition, so when we find our passion for something, we have the physical stamina to see it through. Okay. Being closely associated with the base chakra, it reminds us to look after ourselves physically. Ruby can also stimulate Kundalini energy, so if it's passion you are after, ruby is your crystal. As well as the beautiful quality ruby brings, this one is also a record keeper, a store of ancient information. If you are seeking answers, when you meditate with a record keeper, it can help you discover universal truth. Do not go into meditation with a specific question in mind. Let whatever information is in the crystal to come to you. You may be surprised by what you receive, but know it is exactly what you need at this time. There's an energy here, and again, this is it's funny the way shadow work is and the way the nervous system is, okay? Sometimes the shadow work and the actions that are needed to be taken in order for your nervous system to make space and be okay with receiving a desire. It may not like be linked, like your conscious mind may not see the direct correlation. Okay, that's what's funny about shadow work, because what's coming through here is something about your physical health. Okay, because I'm seeing low energy state, something about your low your energy being low. And you know, you can start with boosting your energy through some of the things that you can do physically. Okay, drinking the right amounts or adequate amounts of water, making sure you're drinking adequate amounts of water. Make sure that you are eating foods that are more life sustaining versus, you know, the food like junk foods and sweets and things that, you know, kind of override your body with too much toxicity. You know, you can create more stamina by exercising. Just things like that. And part of, you know, healing the nervous system is through actual experience. And that's what we're talking about now. There's something about needing to infuse you with things that are going to help you to up or boost your personal energy, your personal vitality. And yes, there are some things that you can do to help boost your physical vitality, which is going to in turn boost your mental and your emotional vitality. There's something about your energy, your low energy, your low mood, your low vitality that is having a direct effect on a future spouse coming in. Oh, that's so weird. I just heard your nervous system say your shadow was like, I don't have any, you know, I don't, and to you might be, you know, your conscious mind might be like, well, if I had a future spouse that would like, I'd have more energy and blah, blah, blah. Again, there's a difference between what your conscious mind thinks and how it correlates things versus how your nervous system is like, no, I don't have the energy to deal with, you know, just my own personal needs. I'm not bringing in someone else. You see what I'm saying? And so there's some, like, once you start doing things that are cultivating to where, hold on, okay, hold on. Let me look at something real quick, you guys. Your nervous system, pile 4, for whatever reason, feels like it's blocking more energy. We're going to find out what that is. Your nervous system isn't allowing you to receive more or to feel vitality, to feel comfortable. What's going on there? Why is that happening? Oh, okay. Okay. Again, when the way the nervous system thinks, it very rarely does it make any sense to the conscious mind whatsoever. But, you know, I've been in shadow work and stuff like this for a minute, so I understand it consciously. Okay, your nervous system is equating you having a lot of productive energy with, like, you know, like if pile 4, if I let pile 4, you know, have a lot of energy and maintain a lot of energy, pile 4 is going to get really productive. Pile 4 is going to feel really good. And then it's, you know, pile 4 is going to, it's almost a thing of like, you know, it's going to end up in more responsibility. Let me find out more. Like, your nervous system is equating you being very productive with more responsibility, which and more imbalance, right? Like, you're not gonna have any time left for yourself. Again, it's not seeing where if you have a lot of energy and you're feeling really productive, that's gonna end up in you feeling, you know, you being able to work more towards your desires. It's equating your productivity with was something bad, right? So what's the bad thing here? What's the bad thing here? So if you're low on energy, pile 4, your nervous system is directly responsible for that. Your nervous system is like, nope, because anytime you feel good and anytime you get productive, it always ends up in, you know, in pain somehow. So we'll find out what it is. So your nervous system is regulating, pile 4, your personal energy levels. Wow, I've never picked up on that before. Sacrifice. Interesting. What happened here? Where did this originate from? Help me understand this. Where did this originate from? Oh my god, now I'm getting tired. Oh shit. Oh my gosh. There's a very specific scenario coming through, okay? It's not going to resonate with all of you, but kind of it's giving me an idea of what happened. Okay. So the scenario that's coming through that I'm being shown, pile 4, is that there was a moment in time where you started something, a new project or a new something. You did something. You had a lot of energy towards it. You got very productive. It was going really good. It was getting successful, and then something happened and took it away. Okay, I'm getting a very specific scenario though, where this has something to do with maybe like business. Like you started some kind of a business. Again, if this part's not resonating, take the overall energy and apply it to that moment in time. It's applying to something, okay? Get the overall energy of it. I'm seeing a specific scenario of starting a business or a business opportunity or something, being very productive, having a lot of energy for it, a lot of desire, a lot of motivation, a lot of creativity, a lot of, there was a lot of personal energy built up for it. Like you could stay up all night doing it. And the momentum was going, there was a lot of momentum going towards it, a lot of excitement, and then something happened and shut it down. Okay, so this can be something along the lines of like, if you were working towards some kind of a business, but the business, you were a part of the business, but it wasn't your business. And then maybe you were like laid off, right? Or that company that you were building up, did something, switched something up so that it just, I don't know, it's something like that. Momentum, things were going really well. And then something outside of your control happened and just things changed overnight. And all of a sudden, everything that you had worked so hard for just, gone. Okay. There's multiple scenarios where that overall energy can be applied to, but that was one thing that specifically came through. And so it's almost like this thing where, your nervous system isn't going to see it as, oh, you're being really productive. It's that feeling. It's like that's anytime we get, that last time we got really excited and we started to get momentum and you were, you had so much fire and passion towards it. Is that, passion. The last time you had passion and fire towards something where you were gaining momentum, and right when you got to the peak of something and then, it was stolen from you or something, taken from you. So your nervous system equates momentum and fire and passion and motivation and excitement with loss, right? So your nervous system is like, nope. Anytime you get excited about something, pile 4, right away, your nervous system is like, nope, shut it down. Stay in bed. Stop taking action. It'll start to employ different habits and thought patterns and stuff to rob you of that passion, that motivation, So a lot of procrastination is coming through here. Just no, nothing, you know, not getting any momentum towards anything because there's just, the passion's not there, right? Whatever vision you might have towards something, whatever, you know, anytime you try to get momentum going, you never even get to that point because the passion and the fire and the motivation is just not there, because your nervous system is the direct culprit of that. But the reason why your nervous system is doing that is because, you know, that's its way of keeping you safe. Okay, outdated, yeah. But that's where it's coming from. So part of your, you know, part of the action that you can take, pile 4, is and you may have to fight through that, all right? You might have to fight through it. You might have to fight through procrastination. You might have to fight through it just to let your nervous system see, like, see, it's not a bad thing that we're gaining momentum. It's okay to gain momentum, but you are going to have to fight through the nervous system's automatic activation of whatever that, you know, what am I getting through here? What's coming through? Like Debbie Downer kind of energy, right? Like that's your nervous system's way of cutting off that excitement, cutting off that passion so that you don't start being productive and gaining momentum. It'll put some Debbie Downer energy in there, whether you're aware of it or not. Help me communicate or interpret this more for pile 4. You might feel overwhelmed by options. You may not know where to start. That's one of your nervous system's way of keeping you from being productive. So one of the things that's coming up is like these are all options, right? There's 7 on the 7 of Cups. There's 7 options. So it's just like, just pick one. What else? Yeah, 2 of Pentacles. It can be indecision, not knowing which one to start, not knowing which. It can be. This feels like indecision. 3 of Pentacles in the reverse can talk about, you know, doing things by yourself rather than as part of a team, and that may. Okay, so that's what it is. This is direct guidance. Pick whatever option. Okay, so what's going to help you know which route to try first is going to be the one that includes other people. Okay, there's something about community, pile 4, that's going to help you gain momentum in something again. Okay, that's going to help you push through your nervous system's automatic block response. And it's going to take some time. You're not always going to feel like doing it, but that's, you know, that's because your nervous system right now is primed to not allow you to gain momentum, not allow you to feel productive. You're going to have to, you know, do some fighting past that. And the way that you can do that is by becoming part of a community. So in other words, what's coming through, if you're wanting to like maybe lose weight or something like that, but you just can't seem to gain the momentum of losing weight. So what's coming through, part of helping to heal your nervous system and get past that response eventually, right? You're going to have to push through it, but part of what's going to help do that and make it more easier for you is become part of like a community, right? Go to the gym, or maybe join like a dance fitness class, or, you know, group fitness, or even if it's just hiring a personal trainer, right? That sense of community. Pretty soon you're going to show your nervous system that it's okay to start, you know, to have some motivation, and it's okay to start gaining momentum towards the end goal, because, you know, momentum doesn't always lead to pain in the long run, right? So it's okay to have hope, and it's okay to have a vision, and it's okay to feel compelled towards a desired end result. But you are going to have to fight, at least initially, you are going to have to fight through your nervous system's established way of doing things, which is got to cut that down, got to feel uninspired, got to feel bored, got to feel, you know, you see what I'm saying? And that, again, that's your nervous system's way of keeping you safe. But eventually, through experiencing, you know, momentum, your nervous system is going to ease up and be like, oh, this is actually a good thing. Yeah, let's go back to being excited, and let's go back to, you know, feeding the momentum instead of trying to shut it down. All right, pile 4. And that, you know, somehow that's going to lead to, you know, you manifesting in your future spouse. Again, you know, a lot of the times when shadow work comes through, it doesn't, your mind, your conscious thinking mind isn't going to clock a direct correlation, but you're going to be able, you'll find out what that's all about, but that's where you start. All right, pile 4. I hope that this resonated. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. Oh, we didn't go through your emerald. We got to tell, okay, so one of the affirmations that you can, you know, prime your nervous system with and to keep your mind focused on that end result, it says, I open my heart to receive, which is a big deal for like your nervous system. A lot of the times right now, I feel like your nervous system is not open to receiving. So this will help that. This says, I open my heart to receive. I transmit compassion and kindness genuinely. Again, this is, I open my heart to receive. I transmit compassion and kindness genuinely. And the way that, you know, the way to transmit, this is more talking about community, right? There's something about getting out and about with other people, doing something with other people, whatever that goal may be. I feel like it's has something to do with your physical health, right? That was coming through in terms of like your physical energy, your physical vitality, but not doing it by yourself, going out and being a part of a community. And, you know, whatever that goal may be, if it's to lose weight or to, you know, whatever the case may be, not doing it by yourself, but, you know, doing it with someone else, whether it's a friend of yours, a personal trainer, go join a gym, go join a group. That's going to help to kind of hold you accountable. If you know other people are looking for you, that's going to make you more apt to push through your nervous system's initial like resistance towards gaining momentum in that direction. All right. And that is somehow going to lead to you manifesting in your future spouse. All right, pile 4. All right, you guys, thanks again for hanging out with me again today. If this resonated, make sure you're taking a moment, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. It's also a great way to show your appreciation. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. Smash the subscribe button to become part of the family, as well as the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And I will see you guys at your next future spouse pick a card reading. Bye, guys.